I want to talk to you about why I am obsessed with problems right now, like literally obsessed with the idea of me having a problem and being so excited about it. Here's why. I have been reading this book called Oneness by Rasha, I believe is how you pronounce it. And it brings us through the idea that like problems are literally a thread that you just continue to unravel and unravel and unravel that bring you to more compassion and clarity around a certain situation. And as you continue to do that through each problem, there's like no stopping you and where you want to go. Here's what I mean by that. We all have ideas, we all have dreams, we all have goals, we all have like all of the things that we want to pursue, but it's like those patterns that are like programmed in us, either they're learned behavior or just behavior that like you've adopted over time. And those things, not addressing them and constantly repeating them, are the reasons why we actually can't get to where we want to get to. And so those things, those reoccurrences, those scenarios bring up problems in themselves. And so it could be, relationship issues. It could be like, some people meet the same partner over and over and over and over and over again. And it isn't until you break that cycle that you like ascend that level or get to the next level of problems. But it's until you break that, like, I don't want to get too woo-woo, but like break that karmic cycle, realize the pattern and decide to change it when it comes up again. That is when you like advance. And when we think about like our goals and our dreams and our ideas and the things that we want in life and the things that we want to get out of life, what's actually holding us back is all of those like micro problems that we don't address over time. And so if you see a problem and realize that it is actually an opportunity to like follow that thread on what's next, where is that bringing you, what are you, unpacking in that thing, that is where like your true self is. That is where you're not repeating patterns. That is where you're able to like break through the thing that you're trying to break through. And I know I'm talking in such abstract language right now, and I am because all of our problems are so different. Like all of the things that we're dealing with are so different. And for like the first, honestly, at this point, like 100 episodes of this podcast, one of my threads has literally been codependency, which has led me to self-worth, which has led me to like so many things. But it's by following that one string and allowing that string to unravel and take me down like the rabbit hole of what the core issue is, working through that, healing through that. So when another pattern of codependent behavior arrives, I can decide to choose a different path. And now I will no longer, hopefully, be in that like karmic cycle of codependency. It's literally like a game. Like you have to beat the level to get to the next level, but you don't beat the level until you try, and then realize, oh, I got to do X, Y, and Z to beat the level. Now, think about that same analogy in respect to the problems that you face just generally. Are you experiencing like the same problem over and over? For me, like, one of the things is I've met like the same person, the same friend over and over and over again. And every time my like relationship with that person gets more like blown up and more blown up and more blown up. And it's not those individual people. It's a pattern that I continue to repeat. So I need to realize like what am I doing to like, one, call that in, or how am I behaving in this scenario to bring that to like the forefront. Clearly I haven't passed a level, or at that point in time I hadn't. What do I need to do? What do I need to realize in this sequence of events? And how can I decide something different to like close that loop, basically? And so we have a bunch of those. And if you continue to like celebrate that, okay, I'm experiencing this problem. Now, how can I just allow that string to take me down the rabbit hole, deal with that, heal through that, and then, okay, let's celebrate the next one. I guarantee you, the quicker you get through problems, the quicker you fail on all of those things, like the quicker you will see like the path or the timeline to getting what you want happen. So yeah, food for thought on problems. I am now like Jay-Z, like I got 99 problems and I'm so excited about all of them and unpacking all of them. But seriously though, like, problems are good. They're so good, and we don't have to avoid them. We can feel them like very, very deeply. And like literally in the book, it says like the key to all you would accomplish in this lifetime, hinges upon your willingness to embrace all that you are, which is like all of those nuances that actually create toxic traits, personalities, behaviors, whatever, and calls in and attracts the same. So if you're experiencing problems, have grace with yourself. This is an amazing place to be. Just follow that thread and see where it takes you. One of the threads, before I close on this podcast, I do want to share with you, just because I've been speaking like, abstract terms this whole time, is, and I talked about this on a podcast episode before, but if you're watching on YouTube or listening on any streaming platform on YouTube, there's like a series and you can go to it where I talk about like microdosing just in general. But one of the episodes is a perfect example of me following a string. And that was, I had resistance around having children, resistance around like having kids. Not that I didn't see myself having children. I just had like resistance to starting. I don't know. It was really weird. And when I started to pull that thread, because it was like, there was resistance around it. I'm getting older. Like I'm married. Our timeline that we've like wanted is like, coming to fruition. And I just still had resistance. So it was something to explore. And so as I followed that like thread, I realized that it was actually like a wounding from when I was a child, thinking that like three's a crowd. Like when there's three people, one person is loved less. And it's honestly a beautiful story, and I don't have time to get into it today. So go back and listen to that episode. It'll be easily findable on YouTube under the microdosing series. But it was following that thread that really helped me heal the wound around when three people are around, one person is loved less, and I'm that one person. When I healed that, it literally opened up mentally for me so much around motherhood that I had so much resistance around prior to. So let that be confirmation for you, a little bit of belief if you want to borrow it from me, to embrace your problems, allow that to be the thread that you follow into a transformation, into probably a little bit of a cocoon season, but that's a beautiful place to be, and then into butterfly season. So that's all for today. That's my microdose of an episode for you on 99 problems and why it's a good thing. I'll talk to you guys soon.